recovery can be a difficult road. Our Amy Johnson visited the Northern California town of Paradise, which faced its own devastating fire in 2018.
That's right. She spoke to business owners who started over and those who walked away to see what lessons they could share.
We have baskets right over there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Business is sweet as ever at Joy Lynn's Candies in Paradise.
These are chocolate turtles.
The candy store was one of hundreds of businesses destroyed when the campfire nearly wiped out the entire town on November 8th, 2018.
This hot went through the fire and survived.
Bill and Pam Hartley remember that day like it was yesterday.
And on the way to the shop, I could see the plume of smoke. In the distance, I thought, well, that's too far away to affect us, but I'll keep an eye on that.
Within an hour, the fire was there.
That fire was moving so fast, just so fast.
Football field a second.
Pam was home packing up items.
I could hear explosions, but I didn't really know what it was then. It was cars exploding, propane tanks exploding.
The fire would destroy their home, their son's home, and their beloved business.
Tell me, why was it so important to open up this business again?
It would help bring a spirit back to the town, to bring a loved business back. We just couldn't let that fall apart. And we had such a love and pride in our business that we knew that we had to start over.
The store opened in 1969. The Hartleys are the fourth owners, buying the business in 2000.
We bought this existing building that had survived the fire 3 months after we had lost everything. So we jumped on things right away, found a rental house in Chico to live in 3 days after the fire.
They admit it wasn't easy, and the process wasn't fast.
And it took a year to clean up the town, the debris, get the water safe again, get the electric wires reestablished. We knew that it would take a long time for us to rebuild, and that it would be a better move for us to find something that was existing. And we took an opportunity that this building was still here and it was in a better location than the location we were in before, and that has helped bring us back immensely.
They have advice for the victims of the Palisades and Eaton fires.
Get your mind off your loss. Go forward.
You know, you do have to go there, obviously, every so often and sort of mourn your losses, but don't stay in that space. Go there for a little while, mourn it, and then pop out and do something positive.
When we visited the sweet shop, it was all hands on deck.
Make it look nice.
All three generations getting ready for the Valentine's Day crowds.
This is the turtle caramel.
Son Glenn works at the shop, and so does his daughter Haley.
The white chocolate just got ready.
They say the loss is like losing a loved one. It never really goes away.
We found positive things to do. I started writing poetry. I'd never written poetry, but I found that to be a very healing source of
yeah, and I started painting.
We got Bill to read us one of the poems he wrote about the campfire.
It takes time to rebuild before we move. Bit by bit, we watch our community improve. Roads are receiving new asphalt top, power lines removed, poles chopped.
They always knew they would reopen the popular store, but for Nikki Jones, it was opening a new business after the fire.
The very first thing that I thought was, how can I fix it?
Jones lost 2 homes, 2 businesses, and a commercial building in the campfire. But from the ashes, a new spark.
I called my realtor and said, is there anything for rent in Paradise? We didn't even really know. She said, no, but there's this building for sale. I said, I'll take it. I did.
And that's this building?
That's this building.
She bought the building 30 days after the fire, and at 74 years young, Jones was jumping into the restaurant business for the first time, opening Nick's Deli and Wine Bar.
I just wanted a place where people could come and feel, just laugh and have a beer with their friends and talk and whatever they need to do. So nice to meet you.
The place has been a success, but now at 80, Jones is selling. But she says she got exactly what she needed out of Nick's.
Doing what I did helped me heal. That's probably the best way to help me heal, is by doing to help somebody else. And maybe, leading by example.
What would be the best advice you would give to people down in Southern California that are trying to rebuild LA? What would you tell them?
Well, the first thing I would say is be patient with yourself Be patient with the process. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. Some days are good, some days are bad. That's the reality of any trauma or any bad experience somebody's been through. But ultimately, again, it's the people around you that help you, that you lean on each other. That's what really helps.
She knows all too well what LA fire victims are going through.
It's a shock, and then you got all these pieces. How do I pick up the pieces? Where do I go? What do I do? There are a lot of good resources out there. There are wonderful, good people. There are bad people. That's life. But give yourself time to let the reality sink in and say, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to stay here? Do I want to rebuild? Paying attention to what you really want to do as an individual, I believe, is important for everyone.
When you see this, you're in here, and you see the counters all empty. Is it tough to see this?
Yeah, it is.
For Scott Lauder, he chose not to come back.
A 7-screen movie theater we opened in 1999.
It didn't burn down, but had smoke damage.
We did chemical samples, and it showed that there was, lead and asbestos and auto part dust and all kinds of things. Once the fire started, and then we had smoke for ages, and then it was bathed in that smoke, and it just sat there.
He admits it wasn't an easy decision to let the theater go.
I think you try to find little victories, little things that give you joy.
Lauder, a former city manager, started helping fire victims.
I got involved in the Butte Strong Fund, which was charitable money. We raised about $72 million after the fire through the North Valley Community Foundation.
He also helped rescue koi from ponds on properties abandoned by the fire. He says that brought him more joy than he ever imagined. He has since rebuilt his home in nearby Chico and is still running another theater, but Paradise is now part of his past.
We don't have a business, so that hurts, So that made it difficult for me to be able to come back here. It would never be the same.
Which brings us back to Bill's poem.
When you lose all, starting anew is tough, but progress we see sure enough. All things change, things can't be the same. Our past not forgotten, but choked by flame. It's very difficult to recover, but you do slowly, slowly. Time heals all wounds.
Amy Johnson, KCAL News.
Amy, thank you so much. You can find all 3 Rebuilding SoCal Lessons Learned from Paradise, all of these stories on our website and YouTube page.